If we look at those impacts, okay, you can see there, I mean, both those lines are as best I can vertical. One, your head's kind of on the ball, or your left hand's on the ball, and you're more ahead of it. This one, your head's behind the ball slightly. And it's that sort of small little change in terms of position. Both positions with your hands, I like. Okay, hands are nicely forward there. And a good impact there, impact of the hand position, okay? But it's when you start swaying this way. And what happens in both these cases then, see your shoulders sort of staying down and under, releasing through. This one in A sort of extended through nicely. But it's a little bit, for me, higher kind of this way too much. Whereas that one, you kind of look like your right shoulder more underneath your shoulder in terms of your head there. So you've kind of released it that way, not that way. And I think that sort of forehand in tennis kind of mentality, or Lexi Thompson kind of mentality, I think she does that for a reason, not for she wouldn't ideally want to do every single shot. No. Her normal, if you look at her normal practice swing, you look at when she's swinging a bet, she wouldn't have that kind of real high lumpy shoulder to try and hit it, okay? We want the sensation. Now your right shoulder's working down and under just based on the angle you're rotating. It's not and then drop. You're not collapsing, you're just rotating. And if I rotate my shoulders, like when you're putting, one goes down, one goes up, yeah? So your right shoulder's going to go down and under. It's not going to be that way where you level off too flat. Or I've really got to work underneath and drop it. If you try and drop it, then you hit the ground around the ball. And that's where you get a real blocky one like you did there. Yeah. Okay? So it's that normal kind of back in your head, certainly at setup. I like your setup position, okay? Behind the ball nicely, okay? So you've got a nice kind of, we said last time, bookending the golf ball, lovely. So good setup position there now, okay? As we swing back, it's keeping that head behind the ball, the lower half moving to target, but keeping that head behind the ball there now, so your arms have got that space, and that's when you look nice and wide with your arms after impact, you see? Because your head's back in, you've got this width. If you get here too much, you get stuck, you get trapped, you feel the right shoulder having to kind of sort of smother it through, and even on a couple of wedges, you fall into the screen. Now, if you're in a wedge, that's a swing that you wouldn't expect to be one of lose balance, yeah? With a driver, 3 and 4 iron, okay, some speed there. With a wedge, I mean, you're good with a wedge anyway, but you shouldn't be sort of hitting a wedge and going and doing that after the shot. It's not really what you'd expect to see from a wedge on a flat lie with no wind, no issue. Down on the 15th of the button, I'll give you that. It's a slopey lie. The wind's up your chucks there, and you sort of swing and you go, okay, fine, yeah. On a flat lie with no elements of the conditions out here, you should really be, if you stay behind the ball with the head there and let your arms release through, and again extend the chest up rather than this forward lean, you're not losing balance. Okay, just get in that position. You're definitely keeping your head behind the ball more often than not. But on occasion it does get a little bit kind of, you can almost see your head there as you go through is a bit more slide. If you sort of go, you can see, yep, there from there. Yeah, and the knees down, and that's why if you move too much this way, this knee has to brace it, you see. If you stay back here, you can extend and release, extend the leg, extend your chest, release the target, right shoulder works under there. If you go this way, knees got to bend, you're shifting, you're sliding too much this way, weight on the left side too much. Now this one you did sort of hold your balance okay, but you've had a couple where you've actually finished and you're there, and then you're there. Whereas this one, when you finish the swing here now, you're straight up, yeah? You want that extension there, so when you finish, you're there. Tall chest, feeling nice and high with the chest, yeah? Not feeling this kind of like running to the finish line like you just did there. Yeah, exactly, yeah. It's not that kind of like flatter right shoulder going that way and having to step into it. Okay, mate? Yeah. Make it a sense?